Recently Vaush was strutting around like he owns the place, crowing about Hassan Piker flapping his wings and talking 'bout heading to Gaza.
Who linked this? What is this?
Dude, I might actually take Marsh with me to Gaza.
Who is this guy?
Oh,
Gaza?
Yeah.
Marsh, you can say no.
I already asked him. He said yes.
Marsh, are you serious? Look.
I'm not going to Gaza.
I was not asking you to go to Gaza.
Okay, what if I did want to go to Gaza?
If Hassan goes to Gaza, there's a very real possibility that I will become the largest Western leftist streamer. So, you know, out of self-interest, I'm not going to push against it. I will say, however, it's a good content opportunity, but like the IDF is straight up on video, very prominent journalists. You know, I'm not even saying it's like a bravery thing or anything. It's just like, I'm sure he'll take some appropriate precautions, but
there's no way. You don't want to go to Japan. Why would you go to Gaza?
Well, I don't like that I'm not invited.
You know what? You're not invited to Japan either.
I do kind of have a little bit of FOMO, Cutie and I both.
We want to go to Gaza.
We want to be invited.
Okay, well, it's not like a fun trip.
Well,
anyway.
Why did you say it like it was a designer brand?
Yeah, we're gonna be.
I want to go to Gaza.
I mean, if we, you know, I'm working on it right now, but who knows what'll happen.
Hassan, is it dangerous?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are you going?
I don't want to go.
You should.
What do you?
I'm worried about you.
No, you should go.
And Marsh. No.
Why did you say it like that?
Well, now that I've heard that it's dangerous.
Oh, that's crazy.
Hassan, seriously, you should consider.
I also was maybe.
I mean, pretty soon YouTube and Twitch are going to make it illegal to be left of Mitt Romney. So I don't know, just hastening the process, I guess. Pretty crazy though. Hassan's surrounded by brainlets. What the don't insult Austin show like that? He's a cool guy.
First off, let's set the scene. Vaush is sitting there, probably in some dimly lit room with a webcam that's seen better days, reacting to a podcast clip of Hassan Piker talking about going to Gaza. Now Hassan's the kind of guy who's got a flock of followers bigger than a herd of cattle at a county fair, and he's out here tossing around ideas like they're hay bales on a summer day. Gaza, though, that ain't no picnic spot. That's like walking into a hornet's nest with a stick and a smile, saying, "Well, I reckon I'll just give him a little poke." And Vaush, Bane, the sharp-eyed rooster he is, catches wind of this and starts clucking up a storm. He's got his feathers ruffled, but he's also got that gleam in his eye, like a fox who just spotted a henhouse with a busted lock. Now, I'm a liberal, so I'm all about peace, love, and fighting for the little guy. But I ain't blind to the fact that the world's a messy place, and Gaza's messier than a pig pen after a rainstorm. Hassan's talking 'bout going there, maybe talking a buddy named March along, and Vaush is sitting there like, "Hold up now, what in the Sam Hill is this fool thinking?" Hassan's got this idea that if he goes, he might just become the biggest Western leftist streamer out there. And I get it, ambition's a powerful thing. It's like a mule that keeps pulling the plow even when the field's full of rocks. But ambition can also make you dumber than a sack of hammers, and Vaush is quick to point that out. See, Vaush ain't just reacting to Hassan's plan, he's dissecting it like a butcher carving up a hog. He's looking at it from all angles, and he's got this mix of jealousy, concern, and straight-up disbelief rolling around in his head. He's thinking, Gaza, that's a war zone, not a content farm. What's next, Hassan? You gonna live stream from the middle of a tornado just to get some likes? And I'm with him on that. I mean, I'm all for speaking truth to power. But there's a difference between Bane, brave, and Bane, reckless. And Hassan's teetering on the edge like a drunk on a tightrope. But let's back up a bit. Hassan S. on this podcast talking to the hosts, and he's throwing out this idea like it's no big deal. He's saying he might take March with him, and the hosts are like, "Whoa, hold your horses, you serious?" Hassan's playing it cool, but you can tell he's got that itch. The kind of itch you get when you see a shiny new tractor and think, "I bet I could plow twice as fast with that thing." He's seeing Gaza as a way to boost his profile, to get that sweet, sweet content that'll make his audience go wild. And Vaush watching this clip is like a farmer watching a city slicker try to milk a cow for the first time, half amused, half horrified. Now I gotta say, as a liberal, I admire Hassan's heart. He's been a loud voice for Palestine, raising money for folks over there, speaking out against the Israeli government's actions. The man's raised over $1 million for groups like the Palestine Children's Relief Fund, and that's no small potatoes. He's got a history of putting his money where his mouth is, like when he raised funds for the Turkey-Syria earthquake back in '23. But going to Gaza, That's a whole different beast. That's like trading your trusty all pickup for a rocket ship and saying, I reckon I'll just take for a spin. Vaush, though, he's got a point when he starts talking about the danger. Gaza ain't a place you just waltz into with a camera and a dream. Journalists have been killed there, folks. The Israeli military don't mess around, and they've got a track record of talking out anyone who gets too loud about what's happening. Hassan's a big name, sure, but that might just make him a bigger target. Vaush is sitting there thinking, this boy's got a death wish bigger than a bull at a rodeo. And I can't help but nod along, 'cause I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, I'm all for standing up for what's right, but you gotta be alive to keep fighting, you know. But here's where it gets interesting. Vaush ain't just worried about Hassan, he's jealous too. He's got a bad case of FOMO, and it's hitting him harder than a hailstorm on a tin roof. Hassan's talking about going to Gaza, maybe even Japan, and Vaush is like, well, shoot, why ain't I invited? He's trying to play it off, but you can tell he's feeling left out, like a kid who didn't get picked for the dodgeball team. And I get it, Vaush has been a big voice for Palestine too. He raised over $200,000 for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund back in 2021, and he's been speaking out about the conflict for years. But Hassan's got the bigger audience, the bigger platform, and now he's talking about this big, bold move that could put him even further ahead. Vaush is sitting there thinking, I want to go to Gaza too, I want to be invited. But then he catches himself, 'cause he knows it ain't a fun trip, it's a dangerous one. And that's where Vaush's dark humor kicks in. He's got this way of cutting through the noise like a scythe through wheat, and he's not afraid to say what everyone else is thinking. He's looking at Hassan's plan and going, boy, you're surrounded by brainlets and you're the biggest one of them all. He's calling out the podcast hosts, too, saying they're dumber than a bag of rocks for not pushing back harder on Hassan's idea. And I gotta say I'm with him on that. I mean, if I'm sitting there listening to someone say they're gonna go to a war zone for clout, I'm not just gonna nod and smile like a dog waiting for a treat. I'm gonna say, hold up, hoss, you sure you thought this through? But Hassan's got his reasons, and they ain't all bad. He's talking about how journalists have approached him, saying he could broadcast from Gaza, show the world what's really going on, and as a liberal I can't help but respect that. The situation in Gaza is dire. Israeli raids have killed thousands over the years, displaced folks left and right, and the world needs to see it. Hassan's got a platform bigger than a barn, and if he can shine a light on what's happening, that's a good thing. But Vaush is quick to point out the flip side. The danger ain't worth the clout. He's saying you can do more for Palestine by staying alive and keeping the conversation going than by going over there and getting yourself shot. And I reckon he's right. Hassan's already a big voice. Why risk it all for a stunt that might not even work out? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the platforms. Vaush brings up this worry that YouTube and Twitch are gonna crack down on leftists harder than a farmer cracking a whip at a cattle drive. He's saying they might make it illegal to be left of Mitt Romney, and Hassan's pushing the envelope by even talking about going to Gaza. And I feel that worry in my bones, y'all. Both these fellas have been banned before. Hassan got a week-long suspension from Twitch back in 2021 for saying the word cracker, and Vaush got banned indefinitely for the same thing. They've both had their share of run-ins with the powers that be, and Vaush is sitting there thinking, Hassan's gonna get us all in trouble with this Gaza talk. And I can't help but laugh, 'cause it's like watching two kids playing with matches in a hayloft. You know it's gonna end in flames, but you can't look away. But let's get real for a second. Hassan's got a point when he says this could be a big opportunity. He's thinking, if I go to Gaza, I'll be the biggest Western leftist streamer out there. And he's probably right. Folks love a spectacle, and this would be a spectacle bigger than a circus coming to town. But Vaush is quick to call him out on that self-interest, saying, you're doing this for the clout, not the cause. And I gotta say, I'm torn. On one hand, I'm all about using your platform for good, and if Hassan can bring attention to Gaza, that's a win. But on the other hand, Vaush is right. There's a fine line between advocacy and ego, and Hassan's walking that line like a tightrope walker in a windstorm. And then there's the whole dynamic between Vaush and Hassan. These two are like two roosters in the same henhouse, always crowing at each other, trying to be the loudest. They've got a history, y'all. Vaush has called Hassan out before, saying he's got authoritarian tendencies, even calling his fans brainlets. Hassan's clapped back, too, ranting about Vaush's fans being annoying debaters. It's like watching two siblings fight over the last piece of cornbread at supper, messy, loud, and a little bit funny. But underneath all that, there's a real tension here. Vaush is jealous of Hassan's bigger platform, and Hassan's probably a little jealous of Vaush's debate skills. It's a rivalry as old as the hills, and this Gaza talk is just the latest chapter.